William Clair, Lieutenant Commander, U.S. Navy Reserve.
It was in the middle of the summer, or well, probably, they say maybe July, perhaps. A cruise, a nice cruise. It was more difficult returning, which was during the spring, and we had a rough crossing. At that time, all we worried about was the cars that we had purchased, which were sitting on the flight deck. But that's another story that we don't even want to talk about because nobody would believe that you would do that, but we did. I'll tell you this story because there's another fellow here at Vincent Hall, and we told the story that it's just totally unthinkable in this day and age. But when the ship went into, I think at Nice, or into Cannes, a bunch of vendors came on board, some sleazy Montenegrins or something, and one of them was a car salesman, and he was in the wardroom, and he had a whole flock of brochures, and you could order whatever car that you want, and you plunk down your money, and the idea was that as the ship left the Mediterranean, we would pick these automobiles up at Gibraltar, and they would be put on the flight deck, and then they would be delivered when we got to Mayport, which is, in fact, what actually happened. I think this flight deck was just loaded with cars, and the only thing that you worried about was that you signed a statement or you understood that if we went to war, all those automobiles were going to be tossed overboard. But no, in fact, it was an interesting time because you could, not only were there guys selling cars, there was guys selling china, and ladies come on board and selling diamonds and all this kind of stuff that would attract a sailor. And it was all delivered, and it was part of the experience. But it's funny that's one of the few things that we remember. Well, it was probably the roughest weather that we had experienced the whole cruise. And it was, you're on this absolutely giant ship, so it's, you never really question of whether anything bad is going to happen. It's just that the movement of the ship sort of sometimes was a bit gas-inducing, right? But that probably only lasted a day or two. But it was the highlight of a pretty boring return. I didn't own a car at the time, and everybody else was buying a car, and there were everything from Mercedes to down to a Simca, which was the cheapest car that you could buy, and I think it was like $975 or something. It was just an incredible piece of junk. But that's the car that I had. And matter of fact, when we came back to Mayport at the end of the tour, I just picked it up and drove it away and kept it for 4 or 5 years.